Have you ever implemented an open door policy with your team? How did it go? Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to the Team Coaching Lounge, where leaders and coaches connect and have casual conversations about team coaching and other team-related topics.
Hello, I'm Susan,
And I'm Claudia.
and we are both accredited team coaches, and we often work together as co-coaches with corporate teams. So sit back, relax, and join us for today's conversation.
So today we are going to talk about open doors and open door policies. It is something that goes in and out of fashion, it seems. You seem to have had some experience with it, Susan. How did it go?
Yes, I implemented an open door policy when I first entered management because I thought it was a great idea. Everybody was doing it. It's going to improve communication with everybody. And from my own experience, I had reported to people who were not very accessible, and I was like, nope, I am not going to be that person. So I got my team. I said, open door policy. I'm here whenever you need to talk. Done. And that was all I did. And most of the time, it was fantastic. People felt comfortable discussing issues they were having with work and their projects and even other coworkers, and we were able to solve things pretty quickly. And some wanted to just brainstorm on ideas, and some just wanted to say hello. Unfortunately, there were a lot of downsides too, because I had not really set the ground rules. I hadn't set any boundaries for what this meant. So I had other managers coming in just to vent, or people just started coming in and talking about their personal issues. And I became like, well, a coach, right? Um, and then the biggest realization for me was that I wasn't getting my work done because people were constantly coming in because my door was open all the time. And I get it, people want to connect, but I needed my quiet time to focus and get my task done. And so, yes, there's good and there's bad for an open door policy.
Yeah, there's a lot that can happen there. It's actually related also to an example that I brought up recently in a workshop that I did about psychological safety, looking at that specifically only through the lens of psychological safety.
Yep.
And there's even in this everyday well-intentioned, there was a good intention there, but it can
Mhm.
have repercussions in terms of psychological safety that you might not necessarily anticipate. So
Yes.
as the boss, you say, I am here, come and talk to me. But what does it do to the person who sits just outside your door?
Hmm.
For instance, right? Will that person see themselves as being observed,
Right.
right? Uh,
Or if the person's sitting outside the door and somebody goes in and closes the door, and you're like,
exactly.
what's going
Because
on?
because you also assume when you just make that offer that people are going to be able to come and close that door. Because
Yes.
between coming into an office is one thing, but being able to then take the liberty of closing the office door to address something a little bit more personal or
Yes.
uncomfortable requires that. Also, what does that do to the person sitting outside when that door is being closed? Right. Oh,
Yes.
they are talking about something I'm not supposed to hear.
Supposed to
What are
know.
they
Yep.
talking about? So there's psychological things about this door open or door closed that go beyond just the I'm not getting work done because I am getting interrupted, for instance. So it is something that goes, weirdly, something as simple as opening a door can have
Yes.
repercussions that we're not necessarily uh, you know anticipating from the get-go. So what were, let's maybe try to summarize, what were some of the benefits that you saw? What do you think was the greatest benefit
Yeah, the
of
greatest
having?
benefit is there's definitely improved communication across all levels, right? Because it was informal, it was casual. So the open door did help that, right? It fostered that communication
Right.
and
For,
open.
for some people that are more psychologically safe or more
Mhm.
outspoken, this might be an invitation to talk more,
Yep.
right?
Come in, speak your mind. If
Right.
you already have the psychological safety, it boosters the psychological safety, right? Because yeah, they're accepted. They know they're going to be accepted and not ridiculed or embarrassed or anything. Yes.
Right.
And that in turn boosts morale, and you have good morale, you have better productivity too.
Yes, yes. And I think that just the fact that the boss is there and accessible, it reduces this power distance between
Yes.
the leader slash manager and the
Yeah,
followers, well, leader followers,
it
but
is.
it
Yeah.
it has less of a barrier, and so maybe that will just even make other meetings, if you all go into a meeting room, but it makes you more approachable, more human, and less scary, hopefully,
Yes. It
over
sets the
time.
stage for I am here with you, not I'm over here and you're over there, right? I'm here with you. So it definitely sets the stage for better environment altogether.
Right. And
Um,
as the leader, you probably also felt less removed from your team, right?
yeah, I mean, just talking with them, if they had a brainstorm idea or something, right? It gives me perspective from their perspective on an issue or a project that I may not see, right? So yes, it was definitely helpful for me as well. And we also, if issues came up, we could address them quickly instead of waiting for that formal team meeting or project meeting. No, come on in. Let's figure it out before we, waste 2 weeks for the next meeting.
Right, right.
So, yeah,
Very nice, very
many
nice.
benefits.
Yeah, but what about some maybe unintended consequences or potential drawbacks?
Like I said, right? People just came in, and even virtually, right? Over Zoom, people were just, hey, can I just chat with you for a minute? And you're like constantly disrupted. So it was unproductive for me, especially if I was really focused on something and had to stop and get on a call and context switch and all that. Um, and it can be unproductive for the team members as well, because I think it creates a dependency upon the manager. Right? Oh, let me just go talk to them. Let me just reach out to them on Zoom to talk to them instead of figuring things out for myself or working with other team members to figure things out.
Yeah,
So,
it becomes sometimes the easy way out to
yes.
just go to the authority figure or to get an additional kind of thing instead of just, really trying to hunker down and give it and do the hard work, the hard work.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. And the other big thing is especially if you have a person who's coming in all the time, then I'm only getting their perspective because nobody else is around. So that may influence my own objectivity, right? Because I'm not hearing other people's perspectives on the issue that may be going on.
Yeah, because if you're in a formal meeting, you can go round robin much more. You can call on certain people and so on. But to actually physically go out of your office and get more input when somebody is
Yes.
always the one talking to you is a different thing. And it can
Yeah.
maybe even lead to creation of some resentment from others, right? So
Yeah.
and clickiness in a certain
Little
way.
clickiness. Oh, she's always hanging around with that person. She's always talking to that person. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Which then diminishes your psychological safety, right? Because now you're starting to create a toxic environment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can backfire. It can. So, what were some lesson learned then out of all this? I mean, the thing that pops into my mind is like, it maybe shouldn't be an either or. not always open, not always closed, be accessible, but maybe have something like office hours, uh,
Yes.
so that you can block out time that you need, and yet you remain accessible to members of your team. What do you
Yeah,
think of that idea?
absolutely. Right. Don't do what I did. Just here I am. Right. Don't do that. Set boundaries, set times that you're available. Set then other times the door is closed because you need to get your work done. Communicate what it's for, right? It's to talk about work issues, not necessarily gossiping, not necessarily venting, not necessarily personal issues, right? If you have personal issues, set that for your one-on-one time, your formal one-on-one time. Um, but yeah, definitely be really clear about what it's for.
What it's for, and then also just some tactical things like it's okay to close the door when you come in.
Yes,
If it is said and made clear, then it won't create this kind of internal conflict with people. Shall I go?
right,
Shall I not go in? Is it okay to close the door? Is it not? So, but clearly communicate it, and maybe even make that a policy. If you come in to talk to me, close the door, reopen
right.
it as you leave, stuff like
Yeah.
that, whatever works for the team in question. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the main thing you want to do is when you are in that open door policy and somebody comes in, be fully present, do your active listening, make sure you're focused, because otherwise you're going to create distrust, right? If you're come on in and talk to me and then you're like looking at your laptop or you're not really focused on them, then they're like, what's the point of me coming in and talking to you if you're not even paying attention to me, right?
Yeah,
That can
absolutely.
damage your own reputation as a leader.
And just this presence, obviously transcends the moment of the open door policy, but it's like
Yes.
general rule. So let's just underline that in double squiggly line. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't do it just to do it. Do it because you actually want to do it. Right?
And then again, every team is different, every leader is different. So, we try your best and then adapt and amend as needed. Just
Mhm.
because you did it today one way, if 2 weeks from today you need to, um, you know, uh, adapt a rule or relax something or tighten something, then, by all means, make it yours, figure out what works.
Yeah.
And
One idea I thought of, and I actually did later as I learned, is even when you have those, say, office hours, right? Every once in a while, take those office hours and you go out and sit with your team and just say, hey, everybody, just let's talk about this project and what are your thoughts and what are your struggles, and do it that way where it's a group open door policy, right?
very
So step
cool, very cool.
out of your office,
Out of your office, but also not in a formal meeting, but kind of a
but
water
not
cooler
for me.
discussion. Let's sit over coffee and just have a
Mm-hmm.
chat kind of discussion. Very
Yep.
cool. Very
Yep.
cool. Excellent. Anything else to add for today?
No, just remember, if you do it, set the boundaries.
Set the boundaries and talk about it and continue adapting and making it yours. There's
Yes.
no one size fits all ever
No,
with teams.
never, never.
Never, never, never. So that concludes today's conversation. I hope that you got some value for it. Thank you so much for listening. And, I hope that you will try to make this yours and see where this might lead you if there's different ways of engaging your team and becoming more available.
And let us know how it goes. And let us know if
Yes.
you've run across any other pitfalls that we haven't covered.
Oh, absolutely. Or what went well, what went well. So
Definitely.
you can show us some love by subscribing to the channel or otherwise engaging with us on social media. If you want to reach out to us individually, our contact information is in the comments. So thank you, or the description, the description
Yep.
attached to this video.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and we will be back with more very soon. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.